Hi and welcome to this review of Wotancraft's EasyPack 15L backpack. Now I'm Mark Ayler, I'm a Sony imaging ambassador. So this review is more from a photographer's perspective. What sort of gear would I want to put in this backpack? Now, I'm normally using a smaller Wotancraft messenger bag, the Pilot 7L, because I'm usually trying to travel very light. And this particular backpack goes in my motorcycle tank bag, and it also goes underneath the seat in front of me when I'm doing international travel. When I need to travel with more gear, I may have to use the larger Pilot 10L messenger bag, or with really large lenses, I'll have to use a backpack. Now, in previous years, I've used the Pilot 18L to carry what I need to work with, but obviously this is a 15L review, so I wanted to see what this backpack would carry. Now, this is me working the MotoGP last year with a large 400mm prime lens, so I was using the 18L backpack in this instance. Now, I have a review of that Pilot 18L on my YouTube channel if you are interested in a larger backpack such as the Pilot 18L. But this year, however, 2024, I was switched from using the 400mm prime to the 300mm prime. Now, this is a significantly smaller lens than the 400. It's running at about half the weight, and as you can see, it's a lot smaller. So this led me to the curiosity to see whether I could actually work with a backpack that was smaller than the 18L. Now, with that 300mm prime, I'm still getting the reach I need at the MotoGP. I'm just having to use the teleconverters, the 1.4 and 2 times teleconverters. So this is another picture of Jorge Martin, the current world champion of MotoGP. Now, this is the lens and camera body configuration that I'm using, and I decided to work with the EasyPack 15L that Wotancraft released since I recorded the MotoGP last year. It's available in two colors, khaki brown and black canvas. Now the dimensions, as you can see there, you might want to pause this while you take a record of that. Probably you get an idea of how much smaller this is because the 18L would take a 16-inch laptop and this takes a 14-inch laptop in the sleeve inside this backpack body there. Now the weight is about half the weight of the 18L, so I'm halving the weight of the lens that I'm working with and I'm halving the weight of the backpack. And because the camera lens will be out of the backpack for most of the day when I'm working, I really want the lightest possible backpack on my back. Now it does have comfortable shoulder straps. Even with carrying the weight of that big camera lens configuration, it is easy to carry. It doesn't have that waist strap like is an optional extra for the 18L, but I think the comfortable shoulder straps was enough support for me. Now it does have a zippered quick access pocket that I was using to put my waterproof into that compartment there. Now it doesn't have as many of the external carrying features of the 18L, but I found this was enough for the 3-day MotoGP that I was covering. So we can also see there are two hidden sort of pockets and they're expandable and they don't infringe on the interior compartment size there. So I was getting sort of a half-litre bottle of water in there and a tabletop tripod. If you are a fan of the full-size tripods, then you may want to look at that 18L instead. But for me, if I'm shooting wildlife instead of the MotoGP, I'd be on the ground and I would be using a tabletop tripod supporting the weight of the lens. There are a couple of options for carrying additional gear. So we can click on armor pouches, and these are available on the Wotancraft website. So if you want quick access to a particular piece of gear that you want without actually opening the backpack up, that is a possibility using these armor pouches. Now I have created another YouTube video where I'm looking at how I can organize my gear using internal organizers and also the external armor pouches. So you might want to take a look at that video after watching this video. Here I'm opening up the backpack. Now that 180-degree opening is quite different from the 18L. The 18L you access from the top of the bag or either side of the bag. With this particular backpack you can open up that flap so you can see all of your gear. does usually require that you put the backpack on the ground to do this. Now you can see all of the gear that I'm carrying. That's the Sony Alpha 1 camera with the 300mm prime lens there. Now my teleconverters are going in an internal organizer. You'll also see a padded EasyPack insert. This is the smaller of the inserts, and that's taking a 70 to 200mm zoom lens for when that 300 is a little bit too long. So that 70 to 200 I was using on the grid, where 300 was a little bit too long for that particular scenario. So here I'm taking the camera out of the bag. You'll notice that lens hood is not extended. It's basically in the folded back position on that camera. So we're looking at, there's a zipperless pocket, which is the small one, taking two Z series batteries. That fits basically underneath the camera lens there. Now I've also got another zipperless pocket module, which is the medium size, and that's taking both of my teleconverters, the 1.4 and 2 times teleconverters. Now I've taken the 70 to 200 lens, it's the f4 version, out of that EasyPack insert small there, just so you can see that. Now, if you are wanting to remove the camera with the lens hood attached, then you probably want to again be looking at the Pilot 18L for that. Okay, I was taking the 400 with the lens hood folded back, not extended, but with the 300 with the lens hood on, you could comfortably fit that in the Pilot 18L backpack there. So that EasyPack insert, obviously you can configure that anywhere. It's basically attached to the interior of the bag using the Velcro, but it's quite quick to access that 7200 when I need to. Now, a couple of the features that I liked about working with this 15L is if I did need to access anything quite quickly, maybe a battery or whatever for the camera, rather than put the backpack on the ground, I could use a quick access pouch mounted to or clicked onto one of the shoulder straps. So the other thing I like, when I went to the MotoGP, I also carrying everything I needed in a wheelie bag, and the 15L just went over the carry handle of that wheelie bag there. Now it is a carry-on size regulation compliant, so if you're trying to work out whether that will go onto a plane. Now I haven't tried to work out whether that is small enough for the airlines to actually consider that as an under-seat bag, but I think it's not too large, so you might get away with that. It's got a separate zipper to access your laptop, but when I hit the media center, that laptop came out and I just put it into the lockers at the media center when I went out with the bag carrying my camera and lens. Now there is a larger EasyPack insert. This is the medium size. It is possible to get the small and medium together into the compartment of the 15L, but I was really just working with the EasyPack insert small for that 70 to 200 lens. Just to give you an idea of how much gear you can pack into that EasyPack insert medium, here it is with 3 GM prime lenses there. You could get maybe the dual card camera, the Alpha 1, Alpha 1 2, into the small EasyPack insert, but you would only be able to get it into that one with a compact 2.8 lens in that configuration. Now on the front of that bag you'll see that there's a Velcro piece of leather that comes on and off. Now it does ship with that Wotancraft leather patch there, but you could replace that with a morale badge of your own liking. So for instance, I've taken delivery of a couple of morale badges featuring kangaroos, and so those would fit onto the backpack as well. Concluding remarks about this bag, obviously it is for people who are really looking to work with something smaller than the big backpacks, and so the 15L is actually large enough for this configuration for what I will use every year to go to the MotoGP, so I was more than happy to use this lightweight backpack. Now, just a word, this is being produced in late November 2024, and there is a Christmas 2024 gift pack giveaway by Wotancraft, so that if you start making purchases on Wotancraft's website from now until the 31st of December, Wotancraft are going to give you some gifts to go with your purchase. It's in 4 levels, so the more you spend, the more you get. So if you spend $130 US, you're going to get a nylon side pouch, that's the smaller of the 4 items items here. If you spend 220, you'll get that side pouch along with the multi-purpose organizer pouch. Then 350, they'll throw in the foldable tote bag together with the other two items. And level 4, $550, you're going to get all four of those items. And as you can see, all four of those items are attached to each other to the tote bag in this particular image here. Okay, hopefully you found this useful. If you're a photographer looking to work out what medium-sized backpack would be appropriate for the type of gear that I'm currently using. Okay, I'll catch you online next time.